Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. It's your host, Chris and Deepam here. We are back to do episode 3 of Inhumans, Divide and Conquer. The Inhumans desperately search for each other in the wake of Maximus' coup. They must learn who they can trust on Earth. Before we get started into this, any new reviews, Deepam, on iTunes?
No new ones.
No new reviews. Thank you guys again. If you review the show on iTunes, Super Tuesday Recap, we'll read it on air next time. Also, if you have questions or things you want to send in, email us that. I haven't checked it yet, the email yet, but mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. Send your stuff in there. In the next mailbag episode, we'll do maybe next week. We'll do our first mailbag episode, and we'll do that and some other topics we'll bring up in there. So so let's get right into this. I am tired. I just got off a train late last night from New York Comic Con. I'm exhausted, but here we are. We're gonna do this.
That's what we call a humble brag, people, or the subtle stunt.
So normally
he tells you how tired he is from doing all this stuff at New York Comic Con.
So normally it would be, but I'm serious. Like this time, it's one of those things where it's a humble brag until I realized no, really, last night I could barely move. It was one of here's the funny thing. So we're in one of the press rooms, right? And Phenom and I are on the line. We're next to these other guys who have this huge ass 50-pound camera they lug around. And I'm listening to these guys talk about how they have to buy orthotics and they buy in-source for the shoe because their legs, feet be killing them. And I'm listening to them going, I need to take these notes down because I'm having these same problems right now.
You're just talking to future you?
Yeah, I look at Phenom, I'm like, yo, is that going to be us soon? Oh my God. He's like, yeah, man, my back is killing me right now, too. It's we carry too much stuff around. So, yeah, that really honestly wasn't a humble brag. It was really me just saying that if I sound off, it's because I'm literally trying to recover. I'm dog-ass fucking tired. I did not know until last week that I was going to get Columbus Day off. Fuck that murdering son of a bitch, but I'll take the day off. I'll take it. I'm not going to complain.
That's me, man. I'm like, yo, I get it. I'm not gonna show up.
Right. I'm not going to.
I'm not that committed to protest.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm. Look. Some people are like, so you don't vote with Columbus? Nah, fuck him. Oh, so you're going to protest Columbus Day? Yeah. So that means you're going to go to work? Okay, so maybe
you
not.
Say protest, and I meant be angry about it.
Yeah, this is one of those protests I'll do online. I'll do the.
Yeah,
I'll turn my.
Let's all go to work on Columbus Day.
Yeah. Whoa. Let's calm that down a little bit.
Just rename it.
Right.
How about we rename it?
Right. Just rename a random day off. I'll take that. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that thing. So, all right. Anyway, back to what we're really here for. Inhumans episode 3. Again, I was not that. I was lukewarm. Let me take that back. I wasn't even lukewarm on the first two. I thought the first 2 episodes fucking sucked. They did. They should never have been in IMAX. There was a lot of problems I had with the stuff. I actually wrote an article on mtrnetwork.net. You can read that to find out what's going on with that. Episode 3. Hey, look. I'll put it this way: the only place for them to go was up. As in my opinion, after that first 2 episodes, the only way they could go for up was up. And in that context, and I think we talked about this in the last episode. It's better than the first 2 episodes. It just is. Things work better. It looks better. It looks like they're not overpaying for expensive shots with IMAX cameras that don't do anything. It should never have been an IMAX. I think we were just talking about that before you started.
I'd like to thank the people out there who let me know I wasn't crazy by not hating. I know Chris has come on very strong about this show.
It's not good.
And my take was lukewarm last week. And I'd like to thank everyone out there, Nina, Rod, people of that ilk, who proved to me that I wasn't going crazy. That being said, you're 100% right. Never should have been IMAX. And this is why, this episode looked like a television show, but a better than average one. It included stuff in there that I think, if you're going to make the pilot a movie, tell us how many people are in Adelan. Show us Black Bolt losing his voice.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing, right? This episode had more of the context that makes the Inhumans make more sense. Having the conversations with young Black Bolt and Ram, even down to having, I call him Ramsey, even having Maximus there and showing why Maximus what was jealous of Black Bolt and that he doesn't like going through terror made him human. Like the questions we had before, they're all answered here. And like, yo, why didn't you just put all that shit? You lead with that. You open the pilot with those scenes.
With that, if you're doing a movie, if you're doing a television show, I get seeding the mythos through the show. It's like us finding out about Daisy.
I don't know, because that was supposed to be a secret, right? This is not a secret. This is just to me. These are.
But I like getting backstory. Like if they're going to seed the backstory throughout the show, I'm okay with that.
Right.
But I think it's a weird decision to, one, do none of it in the first 2 episodes, and 2, put the 2 episodes by themselves in a movie theater.
Yeah, all the decisions with this, it didn't make a lot of sense there. So no, those are great. They give you some context into the family dynamics. One thing that we talked about, we talked about this in the pilot. We talked about this in the character corner. I think this is going to be a big theme that people are finding out. Listen, this is not me doing villain agenda here. You are going to find yourself a lot of times going, I think Maximus is kind of right. Because when you avoid him going crazy, Maximus's whole plots, even in the comics, when you go through it and the things he says, they make sense because the royal family are assholes.
It's interesting because you have to say the words like, apart from like trying to kill his family, he's not wrong.
But if they weren't family, you know what they would just be? It would just be a young revolutionary trying to overthrow a repressive monarchy. So when you put it that way, they are his family. They are his family, but they also kind of shun him. So again, is he really wrong in that respect? Because then, and that's just one of the things. Even in the comics, we say with this, it's like, yo, he makes a lot of good points because I kind of wish, again, I still wish they should have done the alpha primitives because that makes it even hits it more on the head. But like, the humans have slaves. Like you're using slave labor. You're using people of a lower caste system, and you have all these people. And it's not just a caste system based off of like status and stuff like that. It's literally based off of genetics. It's genetics. It's like, oh, well, Maximus, listen, I know you are the son, and technically are next in line, but since you went to Terrigenesis, and now you're just human, well, you can't really be king of the Inhumans if you're just an Inhuman now, because genetics told us so. So, sorry? You know, that, and so it was like, that. And this goes back to what we were saying last week, right? When I asked you who the lead of the show is. This is almost why Maximus has to be the lead of the show. Because honestly, he's the most compelling character. He's a character that the audience can relate to. Could you see him and you go, you're the bad guy, but you're not really wrong. Your methods might be wrong, but everything you're saying is technically right. You don't really get that from anybody else yet. Maybe we will eventually, but right now you don't.
Right.
So I think it goes back to what you were saying. He is the lead. You know, I question that.
I think this episode did a better job of splitting the focus to where I felt like it was a true ensemble cast because everyone had their own motivations, their own story. Mm-hmm. But I think you're right that maybe not the lead, but he's definitely the most compelling.
Absolutely. Most compelling in the one that the most compelling in the one that's going to connect with the cast, connect with the audience. Which is what you need. What you need in a show like this, you need something that can connect. And it's something that I think was missing from the first 2 episodes. Like you see them and you're like, okay, who gives a fuck?
Right.
And again, I'm being generous here because I don't think there's a huge disconnect with some of the things they're doing and how they're editing the stuff. I'll get into it later. But at least here, you give a basis for it. By showing us the background. Again, even over a TV show, I really feel like they should have, even if they didn't put this in an IMAX, I feel like the young Maximus and young Black Bolt scenes they had in this episode, they should have been put.
I couldn't agree more. Like, I do think that, but at the same time, I'm trying to like think through the producer's eyes and say, what do you want to show as your first 2 episodes? Do you really want to seed a mystery that you can't resolve in the hour if you're going to say it's a movie?
But is it a mystery though?
I don't know. You're right, and I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm trying to play devil's advocate because it's. I think that it's. I think you're right. I think that if you knew that you're shooting a television show the entire time, you can put this in episode 1 and maybe not even address him losing his voice to episode 3, but just show him talking.
Yeah, right. Because like what I would have done was save him losing his voice maybe, and maybe save like in the first 2 episodes they showed him killing his parents. Like that should have been saved. Like I feel like if you read the comics, you know that's what happened. But I feel like they could have saved that for later on in the season. That would have made more sense. Because think about it. If you put the stuff here with and you show that Maximus was how Maximus felt and how he had a complex relationship with his parents, and then you find out that Black Bolt killed his parents, and but still became king off of that. You can then see where you get more and more of the seeding of how Maximus became, this guy who does not like his like his brother, and wants to take them down. Like it all makes sense, but I think you have to put the initial part up there in the beginning with them saying, "No, Maximus, you'll never be king," and you're like even down to the idea of. So in that first episode, when they had the young boy come out who they thought didn't have powers, he wasn't an Inhuman, and Maximus went over to him, and we were both kind of like, it kind of seemed like Maximus went to him because Maximus went through this stuff and he didn't get powers, right? But we never
told us that pretty explicitly in the first episode.
When
he's talking to the lower caste, he says, "You deserve to be down here with us."
Right. But I'm like, if they had actually done the conversation he had with his father in the first episode, that would have, I don't know. To me, that feels like that would have been a perfect time for a flashback. You put that there, and that would have fit more versus then coming back and putting that in, because that one felt out of place versus all the other flashbacks in this episode. I don't know. It's just weird. I think the way we're saying the same thing. I think the way they've cut some of this stuff.
They tried to shoot for a movie and a show in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And they caught between.
Right.
And if they just focused on making it a television show, we both would have gotten what we wanted.
Right. Definitely. So what else we got here? I think they heard.
You want to go through each character's like little storyline?
Yeah, let's go through them. Who you want to start with first?
Let's start with Medusa, because you said something last week that ruined the show for me.
Oh God, what did I say?
When you pointed out them cutting her hair, and I was like, wait a second. If it were that easy.
Again, it's easy to fix. Maybe they have some special hair clippers in Adelan. Maybe they do. I don't know, but it just
you know what the fix is? When they fit the finale and they're facing down a Maximus on Adelan, she holds back the entire family, and then her cut off hair strangles them to death.
Yeah.
Like that's how you fix this. That's the only way out now.
Yeah, you have to. The only reason why I don't feel like they're going to go that way is because they the way she keeps looking at her cut off hair in the mirror makes it seem like she really just it's really gone. But maybe they bring it back. I don't know. Maybe they do. So, but it's just again. I think that's you know what it is to me. That was a decision they made when they saw a panel from a comic book and they didn't realize what it really was.
Right.
That's what that was. And I'm like, well, that was part of a plan to do this.
Let's remake this moment. But you didn't earn that moment.
Yeah. So, yeah. I did. It wasn't good, but it's one of those things they had to do. Her talking to an ATM to try to get money.
Yeah, it was like the requisite fish out of water stuff.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that's part of the problem I'm having with some of the stuff. It's like, I get it, but like I I don't know, man. It's because like you said, they have to do it, and I get it, but it's almost too cheesy. It's almost like we've seen too many other fish out of water moments. I mean, shit, Captain America, right? It just seems, I don't know, weird. And then I love the fact
you have to do it. Like, if she's going to be the only one that's interacting with larger human society,
right. You
have to.
Right. So, that and then her breaking into the royal palace, this rich neighborhood, and literally stealing all. Oh my God! You really, God, you poor soul. You have no idea what you're doing. Like, and I also thought that was a bullshit scene too, because she literally runs into the yard right after the person pulled out of the driveway. I'm like, you don't check your mirror when you do that? Like you just peel out and you don't check to see somebody running into you? Okay. All right. Sure.
You had no follow-up questions.
Shit, right. Yeah, no follow-up questions, you know. Was that an apple she was eating? Please tell me it was an apple she was eating. She wasn't just bearing into a fucking unpeeled lemon. I mean, unpeeled lime. I think it was an apple.
Yes, it was an apple. How big are your limes?
I'm just saying. Hey, listen. GMOs and shit. Like, who knows what the fuck?
That'd be a big ass lime. Is all I'm gonna say about that.
Listen, I'm just saying. They're injecting steroids into everything now. So who fucking knows? You got limes out here working out with HGH and shit. Who the fuck knows? All right, you just gotta check. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess. To me, Medusa was the least interesting part out of everything.
Yeah, so I want to get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nothing there, and then she shows up at the end going, "My king, Maximus, Black Bolt." It's like, oh, how did you? First of all, how did she even get there? Did we figure that out?
Nope.
Because she can't drive. She was trying to voice activate the fucking ATM. I need money. Somehow she made it from that Richie place all the way. What she do? She take a bus line? Like she can't figure out how to use an ATM, but she
kept holding up people.
Right, now that would make sense. Like, I'm okay with that.
This is her fourth hijacking.
Now see, that's the story I want to see. That's the story I want to see. The fact that Medusa has literally been on a crime spree the entire time.
One woman slow ass crime spree.
Right. I don't know. This is she had a buzz cut. Like, I've never seen a woman with a red buzz cut before. And
she had a buzz cut and a pistol, and she said to drive. She said that she needed to go somewhere, so I drove and told her she was there. And then when she looked confused, I drove off.
Right.
So you outsmarted a woman who may or may not be in complete control of her faculties. I had to go, man.
Right. She could be the next Timothy McVeigh and shit, yo.
Yo.
Oh,
they would have had to stayed alive.
Right.
Next question.
Yo, I would love this. You know what I want to see? Oh, God, this would be great. Have Medusa show up one of them alt-right rallies, yo. She got the haircut for it, yo.
What is wrong with you?
She got the haircut for it.
What is wrong with you, honestly? Just like in a white polo?
And I'm just saying, you know, the royal family, there are some bigoted assholes, and they do believe in a caste system, so it would be like she fits right in.
I didn't say it was off-brand. I just said you're an asshole.
Who are you looking for? My king. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Karnak. Right. That's Karnak. Right. Okay.
One of those, huh?
Right. So this also makes... So, again, this explains why the setting is Hawaii and not New York. Because could you imagine if this was New York? I'm looking for my king.
20 minutes.
Right.
20 minutes. Everybody be dead.
I'm looking for my king. Sure you are. So is that guy over there without pants on. He's looking for his king as well. That one over there is looking for Michael Jackson, who also he believes is a king. That one, I think that one over
pop,
there.
Though. That's a pop.
Yeah, that one over there. He's just looking for aliens. So they could not. The setting now makes sense for me after this episode because there's no way they could do this in New York. Couldn't work. All right, who we want next?
You want to go with the king?
Yeah, let's go with him. Again, let's go in order of people I don't give a shit about as they're doing this.
See, the thing is, and the more I thought about it, I do not give that much of a shit about him, but I like it more because I thought his story was well told, because you got to see him realize that his subjects, like the idea of him sending out Triton to recruit the Inhumans becomes concrete.
Right. Like when I can't remember his cellmate, but the guy when he reveals he's also an Inhuman and stuff like that. And they also kind of like so the interesting thing about the Black Bolt segment was he was at least an interesting part, but it was the story elements around him that
were really intriguing.
that were made intriguing. Like who is the mysterious guy who help orchestrate him being broken out? What is his idea of Inhumans are somehow being kidnapped or are disappearing through the system and are being experimented on? Who is this other guy who melted the gate away and was his cellmate? Like all that stuff to me was interesting, and that's the part that felt more like along the lines of, okay, this is something I can get onto that reminds me of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where you're seeding a bunch of things here. That you're not going to give me the answers for, which is fine. Like I don't need the answers right now, but you're clearly going to give me the answers as we go along because it's part of a larger story. Like all of that stuff, I enjoyed. I like that. And I would even say, I guess you can include this in the Black Bolt stuff. I feel the flashbacks. So all the flashbacks with Black Bolt.
Right.
Made sense, like with the younger him. I don't know who the young actor is who's playing him, but you get that. I think at one point he says that he doesn't want to be king. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter what you want to be. It's basically, father's like, it doesn't really matter what you want to be. You're gonna be king.
You're gonna be king.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that shit. So, and then when they find out about his powers and that, hey, listen, you'll never hear your son speak again and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. To me, like when because even the young actor who was doing that when he couldn't speak, like. I don't know. I like his non-speaking acting versus Anson Mount. Like,
well, I think that they're telling different stories, and I think that what they told with the kid was really effective. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really interesting way the way they phrase it. I never thought about his powers that way. You'll never hear your son's voice again.
Right. Well, because we never really see him interact with his parents. Right. And when you hear that, you're like, damn. And you got it's like you got to think about it. It's like a person who goes blind, who started. It's one thing when you're born blind, but it's a person who could see at one point and then goes blind, and like, hey, you've experienced this. Now you've lost it forever.
It's being taken away from you,
and then even down to his father being like, no, he will learn how to be disciplined to not not use his voice. It's like you start to see I'm getting more background on Black Bolt as a kid. I still don't care about Black Bolt as the adult, and maybe that'll change. But I just don't. Like I'm not That's getting fair. It. It's just the acting on the show is not very good, and I know people are going to say, well, the acting on the there's outside of Ramsey Bolton, there's nobody else who's
I'm okay with the acting so far because we'll get to some more people who I think did really well this week.
Okay. I'm just maybe it's just the leads are not
the leads aren't compelling.
They're just not, but
they're not,
and that's what takes you to the villain of the show. Going, well, at least the villain's good,
I think that might be intentional early, at least, to like have it not be something where we're latching onto the leads. They're hopefully they're pacing it out so we're fleshing out the rest of the family, so that when they make us care about the leads, it impacts us more. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right. And the next episode, I believe, is like titled after Medusa, so maybe we'll get more then, like and make way for Medusa.
Maybe so connect there.
Yeah, maybe, and I mean, hopefully they'll reunite then, and maybe then we'll get the moments we've been waiting for. You got to think about it. We really haven't gotten Medusa and Black Bolt together a lot, so I can see that. So,
do you want to go Gorgon next?
Yeah, let's do him. Yeah, I guess that was the most action in this entire episode here is with him.
I liked the way it made us. That was the first time I felt like this is bigger than a family squabble. And I say that because when Maximus is he's you can tell he's scared of what was it, Mortis?
Yeah. Listen, Mortis is my favorite character in this episode. I'm sorry. Because he was on some I don't give a fuck the entire time.
He promised you freedom.
You said what?
What did he promise you? Freedom?
Yeah. I don't want to be here as much as you want me to be here. I don't want to. And then he looked at Fern Gully and was like, yo, can't you like make us a path? Like, that's too many. Like, he was complaining about the trees. Like,
He's all the way a pain in the ass.
Yo, I was like, yo, what is, like, again, I'm watching this episode going, fuck, man. I'm trying to get rid of the villain agenda, but damn it, man.
First of all, don't lie like that.
All the villains are people I like. Oh, man, he was such an asshole. Man, it was great. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I thought that that whole thing, I liked Gorgon falling in with other soldiers. That was interesting at the very least. But I liked watching the Inhumans fight these soldiers because they never take the time to explain to you which powers are. It's just like, you're going to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like that. It made it feel like we're part of the world as opposed to being like introduced to it.
Right. I will say that I saw the soldiers came back with like automatic weapons. I was like, yo, we really have a gun problem in America, because I'm like, where'd you guys get the guns from?
Hawaii just got them.
Right. Where did you? They're like, we're former soldiers who were surfers. You guys were surfing last week. Now all of a sudden you're like ex-special forces, and oh, by the way,
great shit.
we have an arsenal. Oh, and crossbows. Like, I don't want to. Like, who drew the short straw?
Crossbows, like, you got to go back home.
Who drew the short straw to get the goddamn crossbows against powered people? Yo, it's like, all right, cool. So here's an AK-47 for you. Here's an M16 for you. M16 for you. Gary, so
Ooh. Remember you were late last week?
Right, so here's a crossbow.
Do you have any like exploding bolts? Nope. None of the last crossbow bolts.
Right. Is it
none that are like poison tip? Not regular ass bolts. Good luck.
Is it an automatic crossbow? No, you gotta reload one bolt
Gary,
at
just
a
give me
time.
fucking question. Gary, do you know any automatic crossbows?
Right. But then why the fuck am I even here? It's like, well, we said we were going to be here. No, I was outvoted.
Why was the coffee cold last week, Jerry? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself that when you're getting that fucking tree with the crossbow.
No, he really isn't Jerry, because he feels like something that Rick would give Jerry in a fight, yo. It's like,
it feels like he's giving all the family like laser weapons and Jerry a slingshot.
Right.
Don't try it.
What is that for? I don't know, Jerry. Because maybe because I just don't like you. Maybe because, I feel like you're going to shoot somebody else. No, it's because I don't like you. It's just... Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry. That just stood out to me. I was like, wait, why does one guy have a crossbow? Like, what the fuck is he going to do?
It made no sense.
But he actually took one out. But the thing about it, I'm making jokes. He actually took one out, though. He actually got somebody with it. And I was like, all right, you know what? I can't even make fun of the crossbow. He did his thing. But I think wasn't that the same guy that got injured really bad? So
he got like spit on or some shit.
Yeah, he was fucking with the red shirt, yo. You get the red shirt a crossbow.
The red shirt didn't work. Like, I can't even get mad at the red shirt. Like you're right, he did get one.
He got one. So I mean, there's that. Again, fighting scenes are still not that great. No. But they were better this episode. And even using their powers were a little bit better. Like Fern Gully kind of ruined it a little bit because he wasn't really doing much. But Mortis, I liked his. Gorgon using his. Finally, I was like, "Yo, dude, you can end this shit right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're fighting hand to hand combat. You fucking stop on the ground. Let's get this shit over with." So that was cool. Yeah, I don't know. And this goes back to a thing I think I've seen with Scott Buck's work and stuff like that. And again, obviously the director for this was Chris Fisher. I don't know. Sometimes in the fights, like the angles in which they're shooting this stuff just doesn't feel right. Like it just feels like, I don't know, the scenes don't mesh together. But it still was better. I think better than any of the action scenes in the original. And thank God, I don't think there were any in this, but they didn't do any like major like slow motion things. So everything looked pretty good. Like, yeah. But here's the thing. I think in the first episode, I think the guy who played Gorgon had the best fight scenes in there too.
Yeah.
Think about it. So
they're shooting his action the best.
Yeah, his action scenes are shot the best, and it might be because he, the people he's fighting with actually know how to fight. So who knows? I don't know.
Next up, let's talk about Karnak.
You're talking about Karnak's wild and crazy adventure. He just goes out and finds a hidden marijuana growing farm, and yeah, this is gonna be this is okay.
Okay,
He
you have a
definitely
very strong opinion about this.
just say he definitely failed the concussion protocol. Like
Yo, like he should not be back in the game. Like, if anything, like I was like, yeah, let's take a couple weeks. He's not. You got a game Thursday? No, he's not playing Thursday.
Hey, here's the thing. I'm joking, but no, I actually do think. But this goes back to what I think his scenes in the first episodes are also better too. His acting is better, and you get it. Like he's fucked up, and even down to when he tells, "Hey, can I just stay here? I'm not a use to my family." Like I think that's going to be a journey for Karnak that it becomes one of the stronger storylines in this.
And it underscores his importance to the family because even like if the place wasn't clear before, everyone looks to me for the answers. Like that's like, yo, okay, all right, this guy matters.
Right. So I definitely think that with all the jokes I'm gonna get off on this, I definitely do think that this was this is probably one of the stronger storylines they're gonna be dealing with and going with. Like I think the reunion of Black Bolt and Medusa is gonna fall flat. But this, when Karnak finally gets himself together and comes back around, I think that'll be a good moment. And we'll see that because he'll finally, again, he favorite scene was when he did the thing where he kicked over the table and everything fell down. I was like, yeah, no, you know what? That definitely is not going to work. Like that's definitely not going to work. And then he kicks the table and they're like, the fuck you do that for? Maybe because you said you were going to kill him. Not me.
And you just feel bad. Like I kind of wish they'd have shown us super competent Karnak, maybe one more episode before kind of stilting him. But it's good. It's communicated well because we got him in the first episode. He was direct to the point of being an asshole. He told that waitress 2.5 days. Like, what the hell?
Yep. And I think, again, going back to why the pilot does not work and didn't do the show justice, you should have gotten at least one full episode of all of the royal family using their powers or being confident and doing this thing, and then you take that away towards either the end of episode 1 or in episode 2.
That's part of the nature of doing 8 episodes. Like, you kind of got to sprint.
Well, no, you got to, but the reason why it's like you said, like it would have made more impact. Like, it still makes impact here because it's better acting than a lot of other things that are going on here. But like, if you had gotten more time of seeing a confident Karnak and how important he is to the family, this I think would have had even bigger impact. Like it's not like it makes no impact. It does. But I think it would have been even more of an impact, and you would really feel even more sorry for him because he's broken.
Yeah, if you could show and not tell that,
yeah. Right. I mean, he's broken, and you can see this where he's literally going to, not go to the family, try to find his family because he's like, I'm a liability to them. Which, to be perfectly honest, if you think about it, he is. Because if they go to him and be like, hey, listen, what should we do to get out of the situation? He gives them something. So far, he is 2 for 2 for being wrong. Yep. One, he walked in fucking circle. It might be 3 because didn't he use his? No, he didn't use his power. He didn't figure out the strategy he should have to get down the fucking cliff, and that's what got him the concussion. And now he's just fucking not working. I also left that they kept, they were like, what? Who are you? What are you here for? What are you doing? Here to find my king. Okay, what are you really here for? Because what the fuck does that mean? And what do you want? Like, what is this?
I like that the people who found him weren't like cookie cutter good guys or cookie cutter bad guys. I like there's some like tension within that group.
Yo, the dude at the one says like, "Oh, I'm watching him, but I'm watching you two as well." I'm like, so you're definitely going to be a fucking problem. That's what you're telling me. Okay, no, I'm cool with that. I mean, you're just saying that they're going to have to Karnak's on the band with the other two to stop you because you're going to do something fucking stupid.
You're going to be a fucking problem.
You're going to be a fucking problem. Oh, okay. Hey, look, thank you for not wasting my time and letting me know up front. Okay. I also love that when he was talking about his tattoos, and how basically, I guess he was kind of saying that they were kind of, you know, when he was young and dumb, and they were kind of a mistake, but they're kind of a reminder of, you know, of his past, and he doesn't make mistakes anymore. But it's like, yeah, you kind of do now, dude. So,
Well, now you're doing that because you are concussed.
yeah, you are definitely not going back in the game, sir. You definitely need to sit this one out.
Maybe in the early 90s, not in 2017.
Right. Not in Jerry Jones's league. Hey, but you know, with Trump, maybe you will get back in the game, Karnak. So we'll see. You know, because you know, fuck him, right? Who's left?
Crystal.
Crystal. Yes. Which? Okay. Is she the weakest?
Thank goodness.
Is she the weakest actor?
No, because Blackpool's on the show.
Okay, you're right. Okay. All right. No, that's a valid point. But at least he got to use her mini Iceman powers.
And lightning.
Oh, that's right. She did do that. I almost forgot. Yeah.
Like, I like the fact that they're slowly gonna like just be like, you do realize she's a big fucking problem. The guys holding the guns like, our guns are frozen, and Max was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I love how Maximus didn't even tell the chaser. He's just like, well,
that's done.
I had to, if I couldn't outsmart her, I'm kind of fucked.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The way Maximus reacted is the only thing that saved this for me. Because I'm sitting there going, okay, this is dumb as fuck. Like, how are you guys? You guys, okay, she's gonna wait. Nobody's guarding Lockjaw. Like, really? Are we doing like what the fuck is going on here, guys? And then I just realized, when I saw Maximus' face, he's just like, oh, well, she's gone. Like, oh, okay, so you know that this is not going to work. Okay.
That was like one of many of Maximus's wins. Like, it was worth a shot. I had to try.
Right. We're just well, and even down to Maximus early when he talked to her, like, again, Crystal Scenes worked for me only because Ewan's in him. And the way he's playing Maximus works. Like, when he was sitting there, he's all nice to her and was like, hey, listen, we should, hold on. We should, you should, you know, come to my side. I prepared a statement for you. Read this, go with this. We'll come to tell the Genetic Council that, you know, we need to abolish the caste system. He's making all these good points. And even for a while, I know she's not really going to do it, but you see Crystal kind of going, okay. But then Maximus, he does this thing that, again, puts the Ramsey Bolton in him. He goes, I'm glad you saw it my way. And you did it willingly, and I wasn't going to have to force you to do it. And I was like,
see? I was like, why are you, what? Like, what? You had to?
And I was like, see, dude, this is why you, that wasn't very smart of you to say.
So I wasn't game film right there. That's where you fucked up.
Right. I was like, okay, yeah, that's where, yeah, sir, yeah. So Maximus, so you drop back for the past, and you know, you had a guy wide open here on the left. But you look to your right and you just stared down this one receiver, and why'd you do it? I don't know. What were you thinking? So yeah, I don't know, man. I looked at that, was just like, yeah, she's definitely not going to do it this time. But it leads me to. I have several questions. Right. One was that Max was playing the entire time. He doesn't know where Medusa and them are, but if he fakes let Crystal escape with Lockjaw.
Exactly the plan.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, that's where I'm going with this. And two, are we sure? Like, I'm still up in the air as to whether Maximus doesn't have powers or not. I'm now more along the lines of maybe there was a mistake. Because if you think about it, that was one of the things that was in the Marvel Knights comic book, right? Where the Woz didn't, they thought he didn't have powers. They thought he was an alpha primitive. And they, you know, sent him down to work with alpha primitives, but he was actually a different kind of Inhuman. Or Maximus had changed his, tampered with his Terrigenesis, so kind of hid his powers. And I'm wondering if maybe this Genetic Council made a mistake, and there is actually something with Maximus, and he actually is using power to try to control people here and there. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll go that way. Because they are trying to lay into the heavy, there's humans and Inhumans thing, which I'll be honest, I'm not thrilled about. Not exactly thrilled about that. Because I think there's a way. Because to me, there's a way to do it and show there's a chasm inside the Inhumans, even among powers.
I see what you're saying, but I also think that if you're going to make it sellable to a large audience, this is kind of what you had to do.
Yeah, but looking at these numbers, is it really a large audience? I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real.
Yo, you're like, see, and that's why, like, that's not fun. Come on, you can't just
No,
be here
no,
just to hate.
no. But I'm not. But I'm being serious. Because think about it. Are you
It's
really
a much larger audience than anyone who's ever read the comic book. How about that?
okay? But then look at what Agent of Shield does and what the Gifted is doing. Things like this, like and this has been my whole entire thing with Inhumans. I get the argument. If this was 4 or 5 years ago, I would get that argument that you have to make some compromises to make it appeal to a larger audience. But we now know you don't have to do that. I believe that a larger audience would be. Look, if you're going to believe that that Black Bolt goes this entire time without speaking because literally the most powerful Inhuman of all time, and that a whisper from his voice can disintegrate the entire fucking side of the moon. If I can believe that, why is it that I can't believe that there's a caste system among Inhumans and even among the powers?
So, short answer. It's an 8-episode miniseries. There's not enough time to layer that in there.
Okay. All right. I mean,
long answer. Largely, unless you're going to get an 8-season epic like Game of Thrones, no one really cares about the strata of a society that's not mirror themselves because it's harder for them to watch.
I don't know. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that they couldn't have made distinction among the humans, because here's the thing, it's like distinction among humans. We're all human, but there's definitely a caste system. There's definitely racial lines. There's definitely things in there. Like that's how that works. I mean, we understand that. I don't see why you have to make them Inhumans and then you go through the Terrigenesis and sometimes you become human. Like, how the fuck does that even work? Like, because to me, I have more questions because you establish
which is the next 5 episodes. Like,
okay, maybe that is.
I see
you're right. You're right.
Also in the middle of the narrative.
Okay. Maybe they're going for that. Again,
but also maybe like knowing that it happens is all you need to know. Like, why do we need to know the mechanics of how it happens?
Yeah, you're right.
That's not interesting.
Well. The reason why I say that is because you went through the mechanics and you went through the explanation of it for 3 seasons of Agents of Shield. Like that's the problem. Like, I can't look at Inhumans isolated because you've been telling the story. You've been telling us one thing with Inhumans for 4 seasons, and now you come back and you're getting us the royal family that we've been waiting on.
Those
and
are
now,
also like hybrid Inhumans who didn't live in the royal family. Those are
okay. You're right. And maybe we'll go into maybe that doctor we saw or the guy I don't know if it's a doctor or whoever that rich evil guy who we know got to be fucking evil that showed up in the fucking helicopter. First of all, who flies his own fucking helicopter? First of all so come with me if you want to live. Oh no, don't trust you. No. So, but maybe that's what he's going to go in. Maybe he'll go into the differences between them, and hell, maybe we find out that Maximus will then somehow get a hold of some Earth-based Terrigenesis, and he'll go through. Because again, even though Terrigenesis,
that's how you die, by the way.
Right.
When the zombie apocalypse happens and they're evacuating the cities, you're like, I don't want to get in your helicopter, sir.
Well, I mean, this is a guy but a guy flying his own helicopter in a suit, like, that's a little bit different.
I'm not saying in this instance you're not 100% right. I am challenging your assertion that everyone flying a helicopter has to be evil.
I mean, if they're dressed
this guy is super evil. This guy is super evil.
I mean, okay. I mean, sure, yeah. If they're dressed like the fucking Rock in like what was that for, like San Andreas? Then yes, you get in the goddamn helicopter. All right, like you trust that guy, but you don't trust the guy in a 3-piece suit with sunglasses on at night, going get in the helicopter.
Flying this helicopter, sir. What's going on?
No, don't trust you. Don't trust you. You don't even have no. I'm here to help. Like, how did you even know I was here? How did you? No,
how did we get here though?
Yeah, too many questions, Joe. No, thank you. I'll take my chances. I'm good. So, but no. So you're right. Like again, this is something that maybe they can explain over the next 5 episodes, and we'll go to. It's just these are questions I have because it just again it all comes down to me is there have been some really bad narrative choices they've made, and by not building on from what we see so far, building on what they did with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., it just leaves me kind of confusing, and it kind of feels like the show doesn't fit. It just doesn't. I mean, again, this episode I think is better than the pilots, and I'm thinking that the season will get stronger. But I don't know. They didn't do themselves any favors with this. And I think they could have done a lot better. I think there's a way to see things and not answer all the questions, but not make it seem like it's just dumb. Which some of these decisions I think they do here just feel dumb. So
and the thing is, I think you're reviewing a show you want to see as opposed to a show you're seeing.
Oh, absolutely. No, you're right. And I have no problem. Well, here's the thing. The show I'm seeing, it's not a good show. That's the thing. Like it's not good.
You're telling us what it's not doing as opposed to focusing on what it does do. And I think it's almost like it's
right. But you're
not going to have anything positive to say.
Well, no, I will have something positive to say, and I have had positive things to say about this episode. But like the dumb choices they make for a bad show. You know, like I'm giving suggestions on what I think could have worked. If they can somehow pull this out, that'll be great. But like just the way they're doing it right now, it's not working. It just isn't. I mean, like maybe, and I think a lot of us are holding out hope. Like I want to hold out hope, but I think we're holding out hope because think about it. Put it this way. Would you be holding out hope for Inhumans if we did not get 4 great seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like we want to give them.
I would. After on the strength of this episode, I would.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think this episode is way better than the first 2. I'll put it that way. But to me, it's I don't know. It doesn't feel like the quality of some stuff, the other stuff we see, and I think it should be a lot better. It should be. So I don't know. Again, maybe we'll see. Like I'm assuming with the title of next episode, Medusa gets more time, and maybe then we'll get some like Medusa feeling like. You know, like I saw that one episode where she was like, the one clip where she's like leaning out the window and shooting the gun. Maybe something that actually feels like, give a shit about Medusa. So there's that. And who the fuck is this woman that's working that she held up at the end of the episode?
She's going to be our character entry point, our audience entry point.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. Hey, maybe she's trying to be Inhuman herself. Maybe we get
everyone can't be Inhuman in the damn show.
Why not?
His cellmate's Inhuman? All right.
But that made sense. But that made sense to me. That made sense because he got the call from what's his name? We don't even know his name. We do know his name, but I don't remember it. But the evil guy in the helicopter, he got a call from him, so it makes sense.
By the way, I never want to know his name now.
Yeah, no, the evil guy. Evil guy. Dr. Evan Declan. Yeah, Declan. There we go. Declan. That's what it was. He's Declan. So we got he got a call from him, and that makes sense because again, when you find out from what was the actual cellmate's name? Sammy. When you find out from Sammy, he's like, I found out I was a human, woke up, ended up killing my entire family by accident. So it makes sense why he's in jail, and then it makes sense that Declan would, find an Inhuman that's near him. And so what did he say? He said I can help. Declan's probably going to tell him he can probably cure him.
Yeah,
because that's what we went to Sammy. So like again, there are good things in the show that I like. Like I think that story, that aspect of the story was way more intriguing than to me. But I guess if you think about it, this goes back to our Inhumans character corner. Everything around the royal family is more interesting than the royal family.
Which is, I mean, and if you take enough of a step back, that's how superhero comics work.
Yeah,
the villains are always going to be more interesting because they have to be.
Right. So.
But yeah, I think it's different when it's an ensemble cast.
Right.
And I appreciate them trying to make us give a shit about this group of people who we've never met before. And for 3 episodes, I care about some of them. I care about Karnak. I think Gorgon's entertaining. I don't give a shit about Medusa. I'm caring about Black Bolt's story. And Crystal's interesting to me because it feels like they're going to hint out that she's more and more powerful every time they show her.
Yeah, they got to be saving her. They got to be saving her for... when they have some money to do her rope. She's back on Earth now too, so maybe we'll see that. So, yeah, and we'll see. What was this? So, yeah. I mean, like I said, there are good elements here. I think that this episode. I'll put it this way. I think this episode would have served better for a pilot than anything else.
Agreed.
I mean, granted that there are obviously some story elements that wouldn't have worked, but if you had taken getting the Inhumans to Earth is separated on Earth, and paired it with this episode and made that the 2-part episode.
Make it a 3-part episode.
I don't even think a 3-part episode because I think there was just certain things in that in 1 and 2 you could have cut out. You could have cut.
Probably true too.
And those were remember those were the IMAX scenes. Those are the wide,
the extra over the top stuff.
Right, the over the top stuff. You cut that stuff out. You can narrow it down to 2 episodes and get this episode in there, and it makes me feel better about things because again, you introduce Declan, you introduce all these other characters and these other things that make you go, okay, there's a bigger thing here. Even down to like you said, the connection with Black Bolt and Sammy and his cellmate being an Inhuman, and Black Bolt kind of showing some care about Inhumans on Earth. You know, like that to me then ties into why he sent Triton Klaus down to die. We all know he's not dead, right?
Why would he be dead?
Okay, I'm just because they keep saying he's dead. I'm just like, no, it's like the worst kept secret next to the Superman being dead in fucking Justice League. He's not fucking dead. He couldn't be in Justice League. What the fuck, man? You're just like, stop trying to tell. Like we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna say that for a mailbag. But I will say there was a fucking the Dawn of Justice fucking Twitter account put out that image of still dead. It was a coffin with Superman. I'm like, no, fuck. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes Superman is still dead. You fucking jackass. He's
still dead, and Benedict Cumberbatch is not playing Khan.
Right.
These are 2 things that we know are true.
Right. Come on. Stop that. So, anyway, we gotta get out of here. We gotta review American Vandal. So, yeah, like I said, I know I'm still not warmed to the show that everybody wants me to warm up to, but
I don't want you to warm up. I just want you to give it a fair shake.
I am giving it a fair shake. If I didn't give it a fair shake, I wouldn't have watched the episode, and I would have just reviewed it off of what I thought it was going to be. But I did, and I wouldn't have said there were anything nice about it. And there are better elements in this episode. I think the season will get stronger and will get better. I don't know if it's going to be enough to undo the taste of that terrible fucking pilot. I just don't. Like I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact that we deserve better. I just can't. That's one thing that's going to irk me, and until they show me that, I'm going to keep bringing that up because we deserve better. We just do. It does not live up to Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It doesn't live up to The Gifted. It doesn't live up to any of the CW shows we're watching right now. It just doesn't. And it should. It really, really, really should. The backing that ABC gave it, they sidelined Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It should be a lot better than what we're giving. I get it if it's entertaining enough, but to me, that's not good enough. You know, just being entertaining enough isn't the brand that they've built and the way they promoted this stuff for us. Like I'm expecting better. I mean, again, I think it'll end up being a mediocre series. I don't think mediocre is good enough for what they've been doing, and what they've been building up. I think we've all expected and deserve a lot better than that. So, again, if things change, I'll say it. I'll be the first one to say, hey, they knocked it out of the park this episode. And hey, if they keep giving the villains more shine, I think so. They're 3 for 3 for villains right now.
Right?
Hey, if there's anything I say, I'll end on a positive note. Villain agenda is going strong with Inhumans. You'll get me.
That dude?
You'll get me coming back as long as you got the villain agenda going. I'll keep watching for that. Everything else might piss me off, but if the villains like they're 3 for 3. They got Maximus, they got Declan, and what's the other dude, the other Inhuman, more that guy. I love him. I need more of him. He just didn't give a shit. So if they turn him into a good guy, I'm gonna be pissed. He better be a fucking bad guy. Keep him a fucking bad guy. I like him as a bad guy. I need my villains. All right. So got the Zorn mask on and everything. So it's just fucking great. The agenda continues. So anyway, folks, we will be back. Oh, shit, we'll be back Wednesday. we got Flash and Legend of Tomorrow coming out, and then next week we'll do and then one this week we'll have Arrow and Inhumans, and then we'll also try to do a mailbag episode in next week real quick. So
wait, Flash and Legends this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're fully back. Like, yeah. Yeah, we're fully back. So, strap in, guys. We'll stay tuned. So, till next time, we're out of here. Peace.